The top stories tonight in Y News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy asks President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to send Filipino mental health workers to Ukraine to help ensure the welfare and mental health of their soldiers amid the crisis in their country.
Members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, plan to discuss the tensions rising in the West Philippine Sea in a Coast Guard and Maritime Law Enforcement Forum in Samal Island, Davao del Norte this week.
Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo vows to fight her charges following her suspension by the Office of the Ombudsman.
And Israel's military targets Hezbollah positions throughout the day following a drone crash in northern Israel's city of Nahariya.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 3rd of June, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Bianca Quijano.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and by live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Joselito Liquido.
First in the news. For the first time, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met face-to-face at Malacanang. The two leaders discussed several important issues, including the promotion of peace. The Ukrainian leader also made a request to President Marcos. Nel Maribohog reports.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy asked President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday, June 3, to send Filipino mental health workers to Ukraine to help ensure the welfare and mental health of their soldiers amid the crisis in their country. In his meeting with President Marcos at the Malacanang Palace, President Zelenskyy told PBBM that they are in need of more mental health workers for their soldiers and defenders who are at the forefront of the crisis that their country is facing. For his part, President Marcos told the Ukrainian president that the Philippines can offer them help by sending Filipino mental health workers for their soldiers amid the crisis in their country. The chief executive stressed that the Philippines is quite well known in healthcare in terms of providing assistance, which is part of the country's commitment to the United Nations for the peacekeeping process. Also, PBBM and President Zelenskyy vowed to further strengthen the 32-year-old diplomatic ties between the Philippines and Ukraine. The Ukrainian leader announced that Ukraine is set to open its embassy in Manila this year. Responding to Zelenskyy on the said plan, President Marcos said that it is good news as he emphasized that the Philippines will continue to help Ukraine.
It's certainly very good news because we would very much like to continue to help in any way that the Philippines can through the multilateral, the United Nations, and even through other agencies such as the EU, such as the UN.
He also extended his gratitude to President Marcos for the Philippines' support to Ukraine.
And we are very thankful to be in your country and which supports Ukraine, our territorial integrity and sovereignty. Thank you so much for your big word and clear position about us, about this Russian occupation of our territories, and thank you on your support on the in UN Nations with your resolutions.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy came from the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore before his one-day visit to the Philippines for a bilateral meeting with PBBM. Nel Maribohog, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations will meet in a Coast Guard and Maritime Law Enforcement Forum on June 4 to 7 in Samal Island, Davao del Norte. Among the topics to be discussed is the tension rising in the West Philippine Sea. Lalaine Moreno will tell us why.
Members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations are scheduled to meet in the Coast Guard and Maritime Law Enforcement Forum on June 4 to 7 to be held in the island garden city of Samal, Davao del Norte. The ASEAN delegates will come from the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Thailand. The Coast Guard District Southeastern Mindanao is ready to host the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum. Boarding the BRP Gabriela Silang, more than 1,000 PCG personnel from the Special Operations Force and K-9 Force were deployed in the vicinity of the venue this morning, June 3. PCG quick response teams are also on standby to ensure the safety of all participants.
Yung buong strength ng Coast Guard District Southeastern Mindanao is naka-deploy ngayon, which is 1,000 plus. Ngayon, meron din tayong augmentation from higher headquarters to include yung ating barko na galing pa sa Manila.
According to the Philippine Coast Guard, this initiative aims to strengthen cooperation toward regional security. They will also discuss fights against drug trafficking, human smuggling, illegal fishing, and piracy. Information sharing and expression of cooperation to protect Southeast Asia's marine resources will also be conducted. The ASEAN Coast Guard Forum aims to expand relations among its members, particularly on safety and security in the West Philippine Sea. This forum is important to discuss the plans, actions, and operations of various maritime law enforcement agencies in the ASEAN region towards maintaining security and order in the waters of Southeast Asia. According to Coast Guard Southeastern Mindanao Commander Commodore Richard Marfe, residents will expect inspection and maritime patrol in Samal Island.
Sinisecure namin yung venue talaga. So, we want to make it sure na lahat ng mga pumapasok at lumalapit dyan sa venue, kung galing man sa dagat, na-inspect namin.
PCG deployment will last until June 8. Lalaine Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo, along with two other local officials, has been ordered suspended by the Office of the Ombudsman. This suspension stems from allegations involving links to Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs. However, in a defiant response, Mayor Guo has vowed to fight these charges, insisting on her innocence and commitment to her duties. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Office of the Ombudsman granted the plea of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, to suspend Bamban-Tarlac Local Chief Executive Alice Guo. In a 9-page resolution, the Ombudsman said that it found sufficient grounds to preventively suspend Mayor Guo for 6 months without pay. Business Permit and Licensing Officer Edwin Ocampo and Aden Sigua, Municipal Legal Officer of Bamban, also sanctioned the same. The suspension of Mayor Guo and two other local officials was after the DILG filed a complaint for grave misconduct, serious dishonesty, neglect of duty, and conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. On March 13, 2024, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, raided an illegal offshore gaming operator, or POGO, operations in the area, which is allegedly linked to Mayor Guo. PAOC spokesperson Winston Romeo Casio said he has not read the decision yet. However, it would allegedly help them in gathering more evidence against Guo.
Hindi ko pa po nababasa yung preventive suspension, pero kung meron man po, yan ay makakatulong para mapasok namin yung munisipyo at makahingi kami ng iba pang mga records na nandoon sa kanila.
Meanwhile, in her official statement, Mayor Guo said she abides by the process of the law, but she would fight for her case because she is innocent. This is allegedly the proper time to clarify all the allegations against her as she cooperates with the authorities. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of Migrant Workers plans to appeal to the government of Brunei Darussalam regarding the case of two overseas Filipino workers, both aged 70, who remain incarcerated. In a recent visit during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s trip to Brunei, representative from the DMW met with the imprisoned OFWs. Ryan Lacanlale details why.
10 overseas Filipino workers are currently incarcerated in Brunei Darussalam. 4 of them are on death row. 2 of the imprisoned have already aged in prison.
Doon sa dalawang 70 anyos, ay meron ng inahanda natin yung forma na pagsusulong na magkaroon ng early release.
They were visited by Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Leo Kakaka at the Maraburong Prison Facility 1 in Brunei Darussalam during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s state visit last week. According to the DMW, they will appeal the case of the 2 senior citizens to obtain executive clemency and secure their release. They also aim to appeal for the other Filipino on death row, seeking to have their sentence commuted to life imprisonment if release is not possible.
Doon sa dalawang umabot ng 70 anyos, and there will be an official communication on its way. At doon sa isa, doon sa aspeto ng death row, hindi lang ako makadisclose ng further details, but rest assured may pag-uusap na ang both Philippine and Bruneian side as directed by the President.
The 2 have been incarcerated since 2005 and 2016 on murder charges. One of them has had their death sentence commuted to life imprisonment. According to the Secretary, the President has issued a directive to attend to the case of our fellow citizens on death row and assist their families. The DMW provides livelihood and scholarship benefits for them under the agency's Action Fund. The government will also cover the expenses for the visits of the OFW's relatives.
Of course, doon sa aspeto ng kapakanan ng mga death row inmates, mismong si Pangulong Marcos ang nagbibigay ng direktiba sa amin na isulong yung kapakanan ng death row inmates para sila ay mailagtas mula sa death row as much as we could. Kasabay na dito yung legal assistance.
The Philippines expresses gratitude to the government of Brunei for the proper treatment of Filipinos imprisoned there. According to the DMW, there are currently 70 OFWs on death row in various countries, most of them in Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad. A Hezbollah drone crashed in Nahariya, a northern Israeli city, on Sunday, June 2nd, causing a fire but no injuries, according to Israel's military and local media. The incident followed a day of constant rocket fire from Lebanon into northern Israel, prompting air raid sirens that sent Nahariya's 75,000 residents to seek shelter. In response, Israel's military targeted Hezbollah positions throughout the day. Nahariya, located about 7 kilometers from the Lebanese border, experienced a fire due to the drone crash. Attempts by Israel's military to intercept the drone were unsuccessful. Hezbollah did not immediately claim responsibility for launching the drone. In a statement, the Israeli military confirmed the fire was a direct result of the drone crash in Nahariya. Local media reported that security forces swiftly responded to the incident, ensuring the safety of residents and managing the fire.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made an unexpected appearance in Singapore on Sunday, dominating Asia's biggest security conference. Gerard Morale details why.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on Sunday, June 2, spoke on the final day of the Shangri-La Dialogue Forum in Singapore and appealed for support and attendance at Peace Summit in Switzerland later this month to address the war-torn Ukraine. In his iconic olive green t-shirt, Mr. Zelenskyy addressed a ballroom full of delegates in formal business suits and military uniforms over the weekend, stating his belief that people around the world also desire to be united and be in perfect harmony. The Ukrainian president, who did not get to meet the Chinese delegation at the conference, also expressed his disappointment that Beijing would not be attending the upcoming summit. Meanwhile, China's Defense Minister Dong Jun vowed to prevent Taiwan from ever achieving independence, warning that the likelihood of a peaceful reunification with the island was diminishing. Last month, China staged war games around Taiwan following the inauguration of President Lai Ching-te, who the Chinese Defense Minister referred to as a separatist. Despite its commitment to peaceful reunification, China has threatened force against Taiwan in multiple occasions which violate the United Nations Charter. Gerard Moral, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, has announced on Monday, June 3, that Canlaon volcano erupted at 6:51 p.m., producing a 5,000-meter volcanic plume. The eruption, which lasted 6 minutes based on seismic records, was preceded by a relatively strong volcano tectonic earthquake. As a result, the Department of Science and Technology, PHIVOLCS, has raised the alert level of Canlaon volcano from alert level 1 to alert level 2. This indicates current unrest driven by shallow magmatic processes that could lead to further explosive eruptions or even precede a hazardous magmatic eruption. To mitigate risks from sudden explosion, rock falls, and landslides, the public is strongly urged to exercise vigilance and steer clear of the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone. DOST PHIVOLCS remains steadfast in its monitoring efforts over the Canlaon volcano, ensuring that any new developments are swiftly communicated to all stakeholders.
Several senators lauded on Monday, June 3rd, the move of the Ombudsman placing Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo under preventive suspension. Senate Deputy Minority Leader Riza Hontiveros, who is leading the investigation into Guo's identity, supports the decision, noting that she has been calling for the local executive suspension since they visited the raided Pogo in Bamban. The lawmaker adds that she received information that Guo allegedly tried to obstruct the ongoing probe immediately after the Pogo was raided. Meanwhile, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian calls the suspension a move in the right direction, as it will allow authorities to investigate freely. He assures that the Senate will remain committed in fleshing out details relating to the raided Pogo hub in Ghost Town and its suspected involvement in transnational crimes such as money laundering and human trafficking. For his part, Senator Joel Villanueva urges various government agencies, particularly the Department of the Interior and local government, to step up its game as he renews his call for the total ban of pogos in the country.
The House Committee on Appropriations held a hearing on the oversight powers to assess the budget performance of the Department of Health, or DOH, in the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth. House Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Franz Castro questions former Health Secretary Francisco Duque III relating to the controversial transfer of funds by the DOH to the Department of Budget and Management, or DBM's procurement service. Jed Neresina details why.
Former Health Secretary Francisco Duque III admitted that it was then President Rodrigo Duterte who ordered the transfer of 47.6 billion in COVID-19 funds from the Department of Health to the Procurement Service of the Department of Budget and Management, or PSDBM, in 2020. This was during the hearing of the House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations on Monday, June 3, upon the questioning of ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro. Duque explained that the transfer of the funds was authorized by former President Duterte, and this was in his public pronouncements because of the public health emergency, which he declared sometime in March 2020.
Publicly, this was made by the President in our meetings in the weekly meet or talk to the people.
Okay.
Later, during Castro's questioning, she asked Duque again if Duterte had directed the financial transactions.
So, clear po yun, no? 47.6 billion to be transferred to PSDBM. Publicly announced by the former President Duterte na mai-transfer yan.
House Deputy Majority Leader and Iloilo 1st District Representative Janet Garin further inquired Duque about the official instructions to him in relation to the said transfer.
So I think, Honorable Franz Castro, the answer of Secretary Duque was in a public address of the President, of the former President. Yun naman medyo nagugulat ako, Madam Chair, because officially, there are actually official notices or instructions. So was there any instruction, Madam Chair, or who instructed Secretary Duque to initiate the 47.6 billion transfer? It can be answered by the name of the authority who instructed him, or the name of the committee, or I do not know. So ganun lang, Madam Chair, if the Secretary Duque can respond.
Duque maintained his position and said that it was within his authority to effect the fund transfer. The House Committee on Appropriations held the hearing as part of its oversight functions to check on the budget performances of the DOH and Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Energy expects yellow alerts in Luzon grid to continue in the coming days, while the agency sees no more red alerts after the manual load dropping incidents in Luzon last Saturday. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The energy supply in Luzon grid has normalized since yesterday, June 2, after additional power plants went on outage the day prior, which resulted to red alerts and manual load dropping. The Department of Energy, or DOE, explains this as it reveals on their studies that there will be no more rotational brownouts in Metro Manila and adjacent areas due to red alerts like what happened last Saturday, June 1.
Well, hindi na natin inaasahan na magkaroon pa ng load dropping o nung red alert kung with na to o sa inaharap pa. Datapwat hindi natin inaalis ang mga posibilidad na magkaroon pa rin tayo ng yellow alert.
The DOE, however, clarifies that yellow alerts in Luzon grid does not mean insufficient power supply based on the need of consumers, but rather the supply is not enough for the reserve in case of another planned outage.
Ang nangyayari doon nung Saturday, bukod dun sa mga naka-outage pa dahil sa bagyong Aghon at saka yung mga power plants na naapektuhan ng El Nino, plus yung hindi pa nakakabalik, nadagdagan pa tayo ng mga additional na power plants na nag-outage tong araw.
The Energy Department asks for consumers' cooperation to avoid power outages by conserving energy and using power efficiently. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Commuters and transport groups share a common sentiment regarding the ongoing transport crisis, despite the government's push for the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. However, the Department of Transportation holds a different opinion on the matter, highlighting a division in perspectives. JP Nunez explains why.
In the bustling area of Litex Commonwealth Avenue, regular commuters who rely on modern jeepneys share their struggles during rush hour.
As in talaga yung kulang na lang po talaga hanggang pintuan na po. Yung punuan niya. As in talikuran na po siya. Mahirap po. Kasi lalo po galing ka po sa maghapon ka pong nasa trabaho tapos sasakay ka po, standing pa rin po.
Yun nga po, mahirap pong sumakay kasi punuan po. Kailangan pong maghintay bago magkaroon ng space. Tapos minsan kailangan po nakatayo nga.
Their experiences underscore the ongoing transport crisis as public transport remains insufficient to meet the demands of commuters.
Parang kulang po yung mga sasakyan kasi nga, lalo pag dumadating na po ng mga alas 7, mga ganun po, 60 na po.
Sa experience ko po, parang kulang pa po yung mga sasakyan dahil nga po sa siksikan saka may nakatayo. Tas madalas po, pag katulad po dito sa Litex, mahaba po yung pila para makasakay po sa mga sasakyan.
Transport groups Manibela and Piston echo these sentiments, observing that some routes in Metro Manila are overcrowded, leaving passengers to chance for a ride.
Nakikita natin tuwing umaga ay nakatambak ang ating mga pasahero, kaya hindi natin makita yung sinasabi nila na kaya nilang tugunan yung pangangailangan ng ating mga mamamayan.
Kitang-kita natin mga mananakay na ang nagpapatunay kung gaano po kapalpak yung programa, kung paano ito minadali. Isipin po ninyo na nagsisiksikan doon sa ruta yung ating mga pasahero doon sa isang unit po ng modern, nakatayo, napakainit.
However, in a previous statement of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, the Secretary stated that there is sufficient public transport to cater commuters in Metro Manila and in other parts of the country. He noted that the 80% consolidated PUVs have enough seating capacity for passengers. Secretary Bautista further said that there are some routes which has more units of PUV plying on the road. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, will conduct a probe into the alleged hazing incident involving policemen in Isabela Province. PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Jean Fajardo said the Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group will investigate the alleged hazing incident in Regional Mobile Force Battalion. Colonel Fajardo assured that there will be no whitewash in the investigation being conducted by the IMEG.
Kung talagang yung pamilya, yung alleged victim ay desidido po na mag-execute ng affidavit, magsampa po ng kaso, ay tutulungan po natin siya. Kung talagang meron tayong ebidensya at meron talagang makakapag-corroborate ng statement ng bata, maaaring maharap sa kasong administratibo, hindi lamang criminal case itong sinasabi niyang 3 pangalan na nanakit di umano sa kanya.
Based on a police report that the alleged suspects punched the victim in various parts of his body and hit him with a wooden paddle.
And in other global news, Serbia's ruling party gained 52.9% of the vote in Belgrade's city council and partial municipal election, defeating the opposition in a clash between opposition supporters and populist President Aleksandar Vučić. Following months of protests and charges of irregularities, the Promeni center-right movement and the leftist Green Biram Beograd finished second and third respectively in Belgrade's rerun elections. Opposition supporters clashed with SNS activists in Belgrade and Novi Sad. Both Vučić declared victory and claimed a majority in Belgrade City Hall. However, Manojlović called the election result as the most irregular elections ever, accusing SNS of suppressing media freedoms, violence, corruption, and connections with organized crime. Vučić's associates refute these accusations. Meanwhile, Serbia seeks European Union or EU membership, requiring rule of law, media freedom reforms, corruption eradication, organized crime tackling, reestablishing Kosovo ties, and aligning foreign policies with EU sanctions.
Claudia Sheinbaum, a climate scientist and former Mexico City mayor, became Mexico's first female president with a historic landslide. She inherits the project of her mentor, outgoing President Lopez Obrador, whose popularity among the poor aided in her victory. Maven Carrizo details why.
Claudia Sheinbaum, a climate scientist and former mayor of Mexico City, became Mexico's first female president with a historic landslide victory, securing between 58.3% and 60.7% of the vote. Sheinbaum inherits the project of her mentor, outgoing President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, whose popularity among the poor contributed to her triumph. The ruling coalition is set for a 2/3 supermajority in Congress, allowing constitutional reforms without opposition. Xochitl Galvez conceded after receiving 26.6% to 28.6% of the vote. Claudia Sheinbaum's victory is historic for Mexico, known for its macho culture, making her the first woman to win a general election in the United States, Mexico, or Canada. Sheinbaum faces a challenging path needing to balance welfare promises with a substantial budget deficit and low economic growth. After the preliminary results, she assured supporters of fiscal responsibility and respect for the central bank's autonomy. She has pledged to improve security but provided few details. Over 185,000 people have been killed during Lopez Obrador's administration, although the homicide rate has been slightly decreasing. Additionally, the ruling Morena Party won the Mexico City mayoral race, one of the country's most important posts, according to preliminary results. Maven Carrizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
The Philippines tourism continues to captivate the hearts of many. It's no surprise that the country has been nominated in several categories in the 2024 World Travel Awards. The Philippines is running in for Asia's leading destination, Asia's leading dive destination, and Asia's leading island destination. The country's famous historic site, Intramuros, is nominated once again as Asia's leading tourist attraction, while Boracay is up for Asia's leading luxury island destination, and Cebu for Asia's leading wedding destination. Meanwhile, the Department of Tourism is nominated again as Asia's leading tourist board. According to DDOT, these nominations underscore the dedicated efforts of the department under the Marcos administration. Love the Philippines and show your support by casting your votes. To vote, sign up to www.worldtravelawards.com/vote. Voting ends on July 28 at 12 midnight.
Safety riding is the primary focus developed by riders with each obstacle in the Manibela Challenge. Yesterday, the riding skills of a group of big bike enthusiasts were put to the test at the KDR Adventure Camp. JP Nunez reports.
Yesterday, June 2, the Discard team took on the obstacle course riding large German brand big bikes during the Manibela Challenge at the KDR Adventure Motorcycle Park. According to their team leader, Ebenezer de Malanta, many of their riders, including himself, have only been motorcycling for 3 years. He admitted that balancing a big bike on an obstacle course is challenging, especially with limited practice, so their main motivation was simply to finish the course even if it meant making mistakes or falling multiple times.
Isang beses lang kami nag-train. Isang beses lang sila rito. Yung iba nga hindi eh. Wala pa, first lang nila ngayon eh. So, ang sabi ko lang sa kanila, nung unang mag-train sila, iran lang nila to. Tapos tinuro ko lang yung mga basic na dapat gawin, yung mga counterweight, mga throttle, clutch control. Yan, look ahead, pagka liliko ka, kailangan nakalingon ka kagad.
One of their teammates, Benedict Galazan, has only been riding a big bike for 8 months. On the switchback obstacle, he quickly lost balance and found the bike too heavy to support. Their coach and team leader advised them that if the bike is going to fall, it's best to let it drop and then pick it up again.
8 months pa lang naman ako nag-big bike. Pero based sa observation ko, pagka bigla ka nag-sudden stop at lumiko yung manibela mo, automatic yung dadrop ka. Maliban na lang kung malakas ang binti mo. Napansin nyo, pinipilit ko pa minsan wag mag-drop. Pero talagang pag big bike, sabi nga ng mga coach, i-drop mo na lang. Kasi mas importante yung binti mo, yung tuhod mo, yung hita mo kaysa sa motor if ever na, bawa nagkamali ka, mabalian ka pa.
Another teammate faced clutch issues with his motorcycle before starting, highlighting the importance of ensuring the bike's condition.
Medyo lumambot, pina-adjust ko ngayon. Sumbagat yung lambot niya, kahit naka-neutral, ang bilis ng ano. Pag piniremera mo, pag piniga mo yung clutch, pag in-start mo, gumagano agad. Ngayon na yung game, tapos nagkaganoon pa. Dapat talaga, pag umano ka, check mo yung bike mo, lahat.
Despite these challenges, the team of 10 completed the course in an unofficial time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 3 seconds. However, this may increase depending on penalties assessed by the course marshals.
Kapag po halimbawa ang isang rider or yung participants po ay nag-put down, magtataas po kami ng aming red flag. Yun, isa pong penalize po nila para po may consider na yung po kanilang ginawa ay may mali. And then halimbawa po yung kanilang gulong lumagpas po dun sa mga nakalinya. Opo, tapos halimbawa po yung motorbike nag-down, consider din po siya na ito po ay penalized.
The Discar team chose to support the elderly and disabled in need of wheelchairs and canes as their beneficiaries. This effort is part of the Members Church of God International or MCGI Philippine Loop, where benefactors personally visit their beneficiaries. Their team leader expressed that winning a prize in the Manibela Challenge would greatly amplify their impact. The first place beneficiary will receive 500,000 pesos, second place 300,000 pesos, and third place 200,000 pesos.
Open yung aming pagtulong kung sino yung mga nangangailangan ng assistive devices, mga wheelchair, kung ano pa, nebulizers, doon namin ilalaan. Pupuntahan namin mismo kung saan man silang lugar.
Kuya Daniel Razon's Manibela Challenge aims to enhance safety riding skills. Participants develop balance, speed control, and maneuvering through these obstacle courses.
Itong course na to ang magpaparealize sa'yo na sabi mong 20 years na akong nagmumotor, ganito, magpaparealize sa'yo na para ka palang baguhan pagdating dito. So talagang yung adrenaline mo gigisingin talaga.
Kung ano yung matututunan mo dito sa challenges na ito, can relate doon sa riding condition mo pagdating mo sa kalsada. So pagdating mo sa kalsada, kung na-master mo yung controls mo dito sa mga challenges dito, ay ma-apply mo yon pagdating sa kalsada.
Tomorrow, June 4, the Ducati PH Adventure Team and Team Progressive will take on the Manibela Challenge. The awarding ceremony on June 16 will reveal the official running times and penalties for all participants. Tune in tomorrow to the live stream of the Manibela Challenge on the official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Manibela and UNTV. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In a remote barangay in Labo, Camarines Norte, a medical mission by the Members Church of God International or MCGI in collaboration with Philippine Army brought much-needed healthcare services to the residents. According to the locals, this is the first time they have received free medical services, marking a significant and positive impact on the community. RK Liorca reports.
A heartwarming story will be highlighted from Barangay Malaya in Labo, Camarines Norte, where gold mining is a primary livelihood for many residents. Nanay Zenaida, widowed at an early age, single-handedly supports her 3 children. Each day, she toils under the scorching sun and flowing water, sifting through sand in search of gold. Despite the grueling work, her greatest concern is providing a better future for her children. This is the only way she knows to earn an income which is often barely enough to meet their daily needs.
Minsan po nakaka-250. Talagang hirap na po yun. At mapalak kayo, mapabirit kayo. Hindi man po. Hindi po sapat. Tiyaga lang nga po para magbuhay.
When a family member falls ill, the cost of consulting a doctor and buying medicine is a heavy burden, especially since the nearest hospital is 69 kilometers away. While the Barangay Health Center provides free medicines from the local government, officials admit that supplies are insufficient.
Sa isang taon po, mga 3 beses, ganun. Pag may dumadating pong supply, hinahati-hati po yan sa 18 barangay dito sa South Road. Siyempre po, kulang naman yan para sa marami po kasi dito tayong mga mamamayan.
Pangunahin namin disadvantage kapag ang panahon ng tag-ulan, so may mga emergency, hindi kami makatawid sa ilog ng Malibago sapagkat yung spillway dyan na overflow. So bangka ng transportation na napakadelikado.
During the rainy season, the situation worsens, making access to healthcare even more challenging. Recognizing this plight, the Philippine Army brought the issue to Kuya Daniel Razon's attention in November 2023 during the signing of a Memorandum of Agreement between the Members Church of God International or MCGI and the Philippine Army in Bicol.
Through immersion ng MCSSP o katropa namin, doon po namin nakita or nalaman na nangangailangan tayo ng immediate na medical, dental at iba pa pong serbisyo. So, nakipag-ugnayan po kami sa MCGI para maibigay itong klaseng tulong na to. So, napaunlakan po yung request namin, kaya nandito po tayong lahat.
As a result, Nanay Zenaida and over 1,200 of her fellow residents eagerly welcomed the medical mission organized by MCGI in partnership with the Philippine Army.
So napakaganda nito pagkataon ito. First time na mangyari sa Barangay Malaya na magkaroon ng itong kompleto na. May medical, may dental, may optical, mayroong pa-feeding. So mayroon pa mga libreng gamot.
For the first time, residents of Barangay Malaya received medical consultations from not just 1, but 7 doctors in a single day. They also went home with free medicines, eyeglasses, and some even had dental extractions.
Ito po mga bagay na ito, hindi kayang gawin ng munisipyo sapagkat napakalaki po ng gastos ng pera na pinakailangan dito. Ngunit hindi po sila nagkakait ng kanilang tulong. At minamahal ko mga kababayan, dito po sa barangay ng Malaya, sana maramdaman po natin at pangarapin natin na hindi lang tayo ang makinabang sa programang ito. Ipagdasal po natin sila.
Unang-una, malaking pasasalamat po ang aking pinapaabot sa Members Church of God International, MCGI, no? Kay Kuya Daniel Razon at kasama ang iba't iba pa pong mga ministro at mga miyembro ng MCGI dahil sa pagkakataon po nito na kung saan sila po ay nagbibigay ng tulong sa ating mga kababayan, mga importanteng tulong.
Natutuwa ang aming puso ng lubos dahil sa nakikita nating kolaborasyon. Ang ibig sabihin po, ang ating pagtutulong-tulong ay magkakaroon ng malaking impact o epekto sa mga nangangailangan. At pinupuri natin lagi naman ang papuri ay sa Panginoon, lahat ng pagtatagumpay, lahat ng karangalan ay sa Diyos.
RK Liorca, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
MCGI cares, MCGI shines. To God be the glory. Pag-ibig! Woo!
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Alice Guo of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs chapter 4, verse 13, it says, "Take fast hold on instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life." And those are the reasons behind the news, June 3, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Joselito Liquido, live from Malaysia.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Bianca Quijano, live from Edmonton, Canada. We serve the people, we give glory to God.